The vast expanse of the sky, a realm of endless possibility. Since the dawn of humankind, we have gazed upward, longing to touch the clouds and soar among the birds. For millennia, this dream remained elusive, a testament to the limitations of our earthly bounds. But then, the impossible became reality. With ingenuity and unwavering determination, we conquered the skies. The early 20th century marked an era of unprecedented advancement in aviation. Daring pilots pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible, setting new records and inspiring awe in the hearts of millions. Among these pioneers, one name would come to symbolize the indomitable spirit of adventure: Amelia Earhart. With her infectious smile and unwavering courage, Earhart captivated the world. Her accomplishments extended far beyond mere aviation records. She embodied the boundless potential that resided within the human spirit. Earhart dared to dream bigger, to reach further than anyone had before. She challenged conventional norms and shattered glass ceilings, becoming an icon for women and a beacon of hope for a generation yearning for progress. But Earhart's journey was not without its perils. The skies, while offering a gateway to freedom, could also be unforgiving. As she embarked on her most ambitious endeavor yet to circumnavigate the globe, a sense of foreboding hung in the air. This flight, a testament to human ambition and the relentless pursuit of the unknown, would become a pivotal moment in aviation history, forever etching Earhart's name in the annals of time. The year was 1937. Amelia Earhart, aboard her Lockheed Electra, prepared for takeoff from Lae, New Guinea. Her destination, Howland Island, a tiny speck in the Pacific Ocean. This leg, over 2,500 miles, was the longest and most treacherous. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation and trepidation. Earhart exuded quiet confidence. Her co-pilot, Fred Noonan, shared her determination. Together, they faced formidable challenges. As they soared into the horizon, they carried the hopes and dreams of a nation. The early days of the flight unfolded without major incident. Earhart and Noonan reassured the world they were making good time. But as the hours turned into days, unease began to creep in. Communication with Earhart became increasingly sporadic. The world listened with growing concern, then silence. Rescue efforts were launched, scouring the Pacific. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart sent shockwaves across the globe. On July 24, 1897, in the heartland of America, a legend was born. Amelia Mary Earhart entered the world in Atchison, Kansas. From a young age, Amelia possessed an unquenchable thirst for adventure. Her childhood was a mix of privilege and unconventional upbringing. Amelia's grandparents encouraged her independent spirit. She explored the nearby woods and nurtured a fascination with the natural world. Her curiosity knew no bounds. As Amelia blossomed into a young woman, her adventurous spirit only intensified. She challenged societal norms, pursuing interests typically reserved for boys. She excelled in sports, demonstrating a natural athleticism and a competitive fire. Amelia's thirst for knowledge led her to Ogont School in Pennsylvania. The world, however, was on the brink of change. The First World War raged across Europe, casting a long shadow over Amelia's youthful optimism. Yet, amidst the turmoil, a glimmer of hope emerged. The war had spurred rapid advancements in aviation technology. Amelia, captivated by their courage, felt an undeniable pull towards this uncharted realm. Amelia's first encounter with an airplane was a pivotal moment in her life. In 1920, at a Long Beach air show, she witnessed the awe-inspiring spectacle of these mechanical birds soaring through the air. From that day forward, Amelia knew her destiny lay among the clouds. Determined to experience the freedom of flight firsthand, Amelia sought out flying lessons. She found a mentor in Netta Snook, a pioneering female pilot who recognized Amelia's natural aptitude and unwavering determination. Her first solo flight, a mere 6 months after her initial lesson, was a testament to her rapid progress. In that moment, she was no longer bound by earthly constraints. She was free. The 1920s witnessed a surge in daring aviation feats. Pilots, driven by ambition and a thirst for adventure, competed for transatlantic flights, setting new records and capturing the imagination of the public. Amelia, inspired by their accomplishments, saw an opportunity to not only test her own limits, but also to challenge societal expectations of women. In 1928, Amelia achieved international fame as the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Her courageous journey aboard a Fokker F/3M named Friendship captivated the world. Newspapers hailed her as Lady Lindy, a nod to Charles Lindbergh's historic solo transatlantic flight the previous year. Amelia, however, was determined to forge her own path. Her accomplishments shattered gender barriers and made her an overnight sensation. She became a symbol of progress and female empowerment, inspiring countless women to pursue their dreams. Amelia, however, remained grounded, her focus never straying far from her love of flying and her desire to push the boundaries of aviation. She continued to break records, becoming the first woman to fly solo and non-stop across the United States, and the first person to fly solo from Honolulu, Hawaii to Oakland, California. With each achievement, Amelia's fame grew, but so too did her commitment to using her platform to advocate for women's rights and to inspire future generations of aviators. Yet, Amelia's most daring adventure, one that would cement her legacy in the annals of aviation history, was yet to come. By the mid-1930s, Amelia Earhart had achieved a level of fame and recognition few could imagine. Her name was synonymous with daring aviation feats, her image gracing magazine covers and newsreels around the world. Yet, Amelia remained restless, her adventurous spirit yearning for a new challenge, one that would push the boundaries of aviation and solidify her place in history. It was then that the idea of circumnavigating the globe took hold of her imagination. This audacious goal, attempted by only a handful of pilots before, presented a formidable challenge. The sheer distance, the unpredictable weather patterns over vast oceans, and the limitations of aircraft technology at the time made it a feat fraught with danger. Undeterred, Amelia embraced the challenge with her characteristic zeal. She meticulously planned her route, carefully selecting stopovers for refueling and maintenance. Her aircraft of choice, the Lockheed Electra 10E, a twin-engine marvel of engineering for its time, underwent extensive modifications to prepare it for the grueling journey ahead. The world watched with bated breath as Amelia, accompanied by her trusted navigator Fred Noonan, embarked on their epic adventure. Their journey began in Oakland, California on June 1, 1937, and took them across the United States, then eastward across the Atlantic Ocean to Africa, then across Asia, making stops along the way, captivating audiences with each successful leg of their journey. As Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan approached the halfway point of their circumnavigation attempt, a tiny speck of land in the vast Pacific Ocean loomed large in their minds. Howland Island. This remote, uninhabited coral atoll, a mere 2 miles long and a half-mile wide, held the key to the success of their ambitious endeavor. Howland Island's strategic importance lay in its location. Situated almost directly on Earhart's planned route from Lae, New Guinea to Honolulu, Hawaii, it represented the only viable refueling stop for thousands of miles in any direction. Without successfully landing on Howland Island and replenishing their fuel reserves, Earhart and Noonan knew their journey could not continue. The challenges of locating and landing on Howland Island were significant. Its small size, low-lying terrain, and lack of any distinguishing features made it incredibly difficult to spot from the air, especially given the limitations of navigation technology at the time. Moreover, weather conditions in the Pacific were notoriously unpredictable, and even a slight deviation from their course could result in missing the island entirely. To mitigate these risks, Earhart and Noonan relied on a combination of celestial navigation, using sextants to determine their position based on the stars, and radio direction finding, utilizing radio signals transmitted from Howland Island and a Coast Guard ship, the Itasca, stationed nearby to guide them in. However, as they would soon discover, even the most meticulous planning and preparation could not fully account for the unforgiving nature of the open ocean. In the 1930s, transoceanic flight remained a perilous undertaking. While aircraft technology had advanced, the challenges of navigating vast distances over open water remained formidable. Mechanical failure was a significant danger. Engines were prone to overheating and malfunctions. Weather posed another constant threat. Sudden storms could whip up without warning. Navigating required skill, experience, and luck. The psychological toll on pilots was immense. For centuries, mariners relied on the sun and stars to guide them across vast oceans. This ancient art, passed down through generations, provided a reliable means of determining one's position. Even with aviation, celestial navigation remained essential for long-distance flights over water. Using a sextant, navigators measured angles between celestial objects to determine their position. This angle, along with precise time, provided data to calculate latitude. Determining longitude required accurate timekeeping and complex calculations. Cloudy skies could obscure celestial bodies, making readings impossible. Section 2. The Dawn of Radio Navigation, a New Era in Aviation. As Amelia Earhart embarked on her circumnavigation attempt, the world of aviation was on the cusp of a technological revolution. Radio, once a novelty confined to laboratories and hobbyists, was rapidly transforming communication and navigation. For pilots, the ability to send and receive messages over long distances and to use radio signals for navigation promised to revolutionize air travel. Radio direction finding, or RDF, emerged as a promising new navigational aid for aviators. Ground stations, strategically positioned along air routes, transmitted directional radio signals. Pilots, using onboard radio equipment, could then determine the bearing or direction to these stations. By taking bearings from multiple stations, they could triangulate their position, even in conditions of poor visibility. The development of radio beacons further enhanced the capabilities of radio navigation. These beacons, strategically placed at airports and other key locations, transmitted continuous radio signals that pilots could use to home in on their destinations. Despite its promise, radio navigation in the 1930s was still in its infancy, and its limitations were readily apparent. Radio equipment of the era was bulky, prone to interference, and often unreliable, especially over long distances and in adverse weather conditions. Moreover, the accuracy of radio direction finding depended on a variety of factors, including the strength and clarity of the radio signals, the pilot's skill in interpreting the bearings, and the accuracy of the ground station locations. The potential of radio navigation was undeniable, but it was clear that the technology needed further refinement. As Earhart's journey progressed, the world watched closely, eager to see how this new era in aviation would unfold. Section 3. A Fateful Decision, the Limitations of Technology. As Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan prepared for their trans-Pacific flight, they faced a critical decision. They could rely on celestial navigation or place their faith in radio navigation. Each option had its own advantages and disadvantages. Celestial navigation required clear skies and was time-consuming. The vast Pacific and unpredictable weather made it challenging. Radio navigation offered speed but was unreliable. It was prone to interference and required skill. They chose to rely on radio navigation. This decision had tragic consequences, highlighting technology's limitations. Section 1. Radio Silence. The Perils of Static. The Lockheed Electra, a symbol of human ingenuity, soared above the Pacific Ocean. Inside the cramped cockpit, tension hung in the air. The static-filled silence from the radio was deafening. Earhart and Noonan strained to decipher any coherent message. The ethereal symphony of atmospheric interference mocked their predicament. The limitations of radio technology in the 1930s were starkly apparent. Section 2. Lost in Transmission, a Breakdown in Communication. Earhart and Noonan struggled to maintain radio contact, facing miscommunications and missed opportunities. The Itasca tried to guide the Electra using radio transmissions and smoke signals. Technical and human factors hampered their efforts. Differing radio frequencies caused signal strength issues. The Electra's faint transmissions made it difficult for the Itasca to obtain accurate bearings. The Itasca's powerful signals provided limited directional information. A navigational error placed the Itasca miles away from its intended position. This discrepancy proved critical, leading Earhart further astray. Despite challenges, there were fleeting moments of successful communication. Earhart's voice, though faint, acknowledged transmissions and provided updates. Each glimmer of hope was quickly extinguished by technical difficulties. The breakdown in communication underscored the precarious nature of their situation. Dwindling fuel and mounting anxiety. The gravity of their situation weighed heavier on Earhart and Noonan. The hum of the Electra's engines now served as a reminder of their dwindling fuel. The needle on the fuel gauge dipped low, mirroring their sinking feeling. What began as a daring adventure spiraled into a desperate race against time. The vast Pacific, once a symbol of possibility, now an unforgiving expanse. The endless horizon mocked their predicament. Earhart's final transmissions. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the Pacific. Inside the cockpit, the dwindling light mirrored fading hopes. The radio crackled with static, punctuated by Earhart's desperate transmissions. Her voice wavered, strained with fatigue and mounting pressure. Earhart's voice, a whisper of despair. Ka'ak-Q calling Itasca. Gas is running low. Time stood still as the Itasca strained to decipher her fading transmissions, but fate had other plans. News of Amelia Earhart's disappearance spread like wildfire, igniting concern and speculation. Newspapers printed frantic headlines, radio broadcasts interrupted regular programming with breaking updates. The world held its breath, united in anxiety for the pioneering aviator. The U.S. launched the largest air and sea search in history, dispatching warships, aircraft, and personnel. Hope dwindled with each passing hour, fueling the search efforts. Days turned into weeks, hope giving way to despair. Amelia Earhart, who defied gravity and shattered gender barriers, vanished without a trace. In the wake of Amelia Earhart's disappearance, the world grappled with grief and a burning desire for answers. The investigation, hampered by limited technology, failed to reach a conclusion. The Electra vanished, leaving unanswered questions and endless speculation. The lack of closure fueled theories, each trying to solve the puzzle of Earhart's final flight. Some proposed Earhart ditched near Howland Island, perishing at sea. Others suggested she landed on a different island, possibly captured by the Japanese. Despite decades of research, Amelia Earhart's fate remains an enduring enigma. Amelia Earhart's disappearance remains one of history's most captivating mysteries. The world watched in awe as she shattered records and redefined what seemed possible for a woman of her time. Yet, her story took an abrupt and tragic turn, leaving behind a void of unanswered questions that continues to intrigue and inspire us decades later. The vast and unforgiving Pacific Ocean swallowed her dreams and ambitions, leaving only fragments of radio transmissions and a legacy forever entwined with the enigma of her final flight. The lack of a definitive answer, the absence of a tangible conclusion, has transformed her story into a canvas onto which we project our own interpretations, hopes, and fears. Some find solace in the belief that she met her end quickly, embraced by the vastness of the sky she loved so dearly. Others cling to the hope that she survived, finding refuge on a remote island, her spirit unbroken despite the trials she faced. The truth, elusive and perhaps forever out of reach, continues to tantalize us, a testament to the enduring power of mystery. The passage of time has done little to diminish the fascination with Amelia Earhart. If anything, the mystery surrounding her disappearance has only amplified her legend, transforming her into an icon whose story transcends the boundaries of aviation history. The human mind is inherently drawn to the unknown. We are wired to seek answers, to make sense of the world around us, to find order amidst chaos. Yet, some mysteries, like Amelia Earhart's disappearance, defy easy explanation, challenging our need for closure and reminding us that some questions may never have definitive answers. The allure of the unknown lies not only in the thrill of the chase, the pursuit of a solution that may forever elude us, but also in the opportunity it provides for introspection and reflection. Mysteries like Earhart's disappearance force us to confront the limits of our understanding, the fragility of human endeavor, and the humbling vastness of the natural world. They invite us to contemplate the nature of courage, the allure of adventure, and the thin line that often separates triumph from tragedy. In the absence of concrete answers, we are left to grapple with ambiguity, to find meaning in the spaces between what we know and what we can only imagine. This is perhaps the greatest legacy of Amelia Earhart's disappearance. It is not merely a historical footnote, a cold case file gathering dust in some archive, but a living, breathing mystery that continues to spark our curiosity, ignite our imaginations, and remind us that some stories, even without a definitive ending, have the power to resonate across generations. While the mystery of Amelia Earhart's disappearance fascinates us, it is essential to remember the woman behind the legend. Amelia Earhart was a pioneer, a trailblazer who shattered gender barriers, inspiring countless women to pursue their dreams. Her solo transatlantic flight and record-breaking journeys cemented her status as a global icon. Her legacy extends beyond her disappearance, reminding us that the human spirit knows no bounds.